Is that a real screen?
Yeah.
Get out. No, it's all panels.
Oh, panels. Yeah.
Okay. That's great.
I'm just. Here we go.
All right.
Welcome to Howie Mandel Does Stuff. I'm Howie Mandel.
I'm Jacqueline Schultz, his daughter and co-host.
And my name is Lou.
He's my friend Lou.
And I'm Jeff Dunham.
And Jeff Dunham is our special
Dunham.
guest today.
Yeah, thanks.
Jeff and I go way back. You were on my talk. I think the first time I met you was on my talk show, right?
Yeah, I can't remember how I got on there, but it was amazing. It was great fun. It
You
was.
can't remember how you got on there.
I got in trouble with Leno though.
Why?
Because no, it wasn't your show. It was somebody else's. It was another talk
Well, I
show.
was across the street from. I mean, across the hall from Leno, so we were sharing guests.
I'm sorry. It was somebody else's talk show that was much less important than you. But I didn't get in trouble. It was just like I'd been on Leno so many times. It's like somebody's like from his show, not him. Or like, hey, wait a minute, you can't go do hit.
Well, the people who are listening who don't know this, the show's become kind of proprietary. If you do, like I remember, eventually Leno was incredibly gracious and allowed me when I couldn't get on any other show to do his show. But there was a moment when I was just doing Arsenio all the time. And when I was just doing Arsenio, then you don't do Leno. And it's kind of like when you do the Comedy Store, you don't do the improv.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where did you start? You didn't start. Did you start at the Comedy?
No, my career arc does not match anybody else's because I was in Texas. I grew up in Dallas. Then I went to Baylor University. And in 1983, I won the America's Collegiate Talent Showcase. It was a college talent competition. I was still in college, but they had it in, you were supposed to send in your VHS tape.
Right.
And they judged the VHS tape, right?
Right.
And I made the finals, but I made it as an alternate. And came out to New Mexico.
Doing ventriloquism?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I do because I started this when I was in the third grade. My first show was a book report in the third grade. And then I started getting paid in the fourth grade. That's it.
What do you mean you got paid in the fourth grade?
I was doing Cub Scout banquets and shows at church and birthday parties.
A sock puppet? What did you
Dummy.
have?
Yeah, it's a little dummy, a little plastic dummy.
That you bought?
Yeah, sure. And
what was your first character?
The first character that I got for Christmas in third grade was a plastic version of Edgar Bergen's Mortimer Snurd.
Wow.
So anybody knows the name Edgar Bergen, that means you're old.
Well,
Yeah. And did you do that? Did you do that character's voice that we all knew?
No, and what happened was, so Mortimer Snurd was a that kind of character, right?
Right.
I just used a typical little boy's voice, like
Because
a
that's what
high-pitched
you-
voice like
yeah.
that, because that's what I could do.
Right.
Until one day, I sat in the mirror looking at him going, my little third grade head, I'm like, this voice doesn't match this face. Yeah, so instead of changing the voice, I begged my parents for another dummy. So I got a dummy that fit the voice. Anyway, so I kept doing these shows and all the way junior high, high school, and then college. And I knew that's what I was going to do.
You did know that in third grade and
In the
high
fourth
school?
grade, people ask kids, what do you want to do when you grow up? In the fourth grade, I had no brothers and sisters telling me that what I was doing was lame. Nobody.
Are you an only child?
Yeah.
It's you and a puppet.
Yeah, it's me and the dummy.
Now it's starting to make sense.
Yeah, but
I want a brother.
I was no good at anything. I was not one of the popular kids. I was terrible at sports. I could artwork, nothing. I couldn't do anything. And then I got this dummy, and I started getting laughs. And I think the reason I didn't get beat
You
up.
teach yourself how to operate it when you got it?
Yeah, I got books and records and teach you how to do it. But I think the reason I didn't get beat up when I was in school was because I would make fun of the stuff that nobody else could. I would get on stage and make fun of the teachers, even at that age, making fun of the teachers, making fun of the coaches, making fun of the lunch ladies and the food. That was in junior high. So I think there was some coding of this guy's okay. He's not that much of a weirdo because he's making fun of the stuff that we'd like to make fun of. And I got on stage. The teachers and principals didn't know what to do because it was okay. I wasn't saying horrible things, but I was making fun of them.
You know what's weird? I'm glad I should have had a puppet because I was saying things and getting in trouble. But I think that do you
Wait,
feel?
is there a difference between puppet and dummy? Because I keep hearing him say puppet, and you keep correcting and saying dummy.
No. I when I use the word puppet, it's self-deprecation. Because it's like, once in the show, the dummy will, it'll be an ad lib, somebody in the audience, something. It's nice. You brought your one date for the month to a puppet show. That's great. That's the joke. So it's a puppet show. No, I call them dummies. I'm not serious about it. There's some people.
I love that dummy is not the degrading puppet. It's degrading. Dummy is the classic term.
Well, when you say puppet, to me, it's like a hand puppet, a sock puppet, just horrible, horrible things.
You mentioned Edgar Bergen. Was he your inspiration?
Yeah, he was.
Edgar Bergen from the 30s, who did radio as a ventriloquist.
As a ventriloquist, but he had the #1 radio show for 10 years.
As a ventriloquist.
As a ventriloquist. That's
How do you do ventriloquism on the radio?
Well, that's
you're doing a podcast.
Well,
today,
but that's the key. Is his characterizations were so great. His believability of the characters, of the voice, of the voices, he just brought them to life, and he was funny. That's the point, Howie.
He was funny, and Snurd was a terrific character. But
Yeah.
when you saw him on film, you actually see his lips move.
That's because he'd gotten spoiled by radio.
So those that
Wait.
don't know,
And
his daughter is
Candace Bergen.
Yeah.
But see, that's
And
the
her
ain't no
daughter.
dummin'.
And her daughter is
I don't know.
Shelley.
Ella.
I think her name's Ella. Yeah,
Ella Bergen.
She's not known.
Okay, fine. So, but that's the point. The comedy was so good. He was a funny ventriloquist, which is unusual. Because what
Wait,
happens
on the radio, isn't it just impressions then?
Well, but see, he was so good at the voice that people actually thought there was a little boy on radio playing a ventriloquist dummy.
But he was actually doing. Was he manipulating a
Oh yeah, he was in front of the. You know how it is.
Oh, there was
he was
an
in front of
audience.
the studio audience, so he had the dummy. But then he moved his lips because he
moved
would
his
rather
lips.
the millions of people understand him than he cared about 100, 200 people seeing his lips move.
And then-
So then, by the time he got into films,
They showed reels of him doing it, and you could see his lips moving.
yeah,
like
but he was such
wasn't
a big star that he then became a movie star as well. So he had a bunch of movies, but he wasn't very good at it anymore because he got spoiled. But in the early years, the kinescopes, you see he was actually a pretty good technician.
Was that something that you started practicing really young? Is the ability to talk without moving your lips?
Yeah, in the 3rd grade, that was the whole point. But what I would do is I would sit down, and you asked me, was he my inspiration? Because in 1970, 69 and 70, I couldn't find anything about ventriloquists. So where are you going to find it? The library? And yeah, the library. So I'd look in encyclopedias, and Bergen was so big, when you looked up the word ventriloquist in the Encyclopedia Britannica, there was literally his picture. And so that's how big that guy was.
Wow.
Yeah, he was huge. So
So you found this. You got it as a present, and in 4th grade, you already knew that this is what you would be doing for the rest of
because I was getting laughs. I had, there were the accolades. We all searched for that.
But you knew that this was going to be your job.
Yeah, because I saw Edgar Bergen doing it, and so why couldn't I do it? And again, there were no naysayers. And I think
What about your parents?
that they were very supportive. They saw this poor, chubby little kid with nothing going on, and I don't know. Again, I started getting laughs, and then by the time I started making money, my dad was all for it.
They got to see the success.
Oh yeah, sure.
Are they alive?
No, my mom is. Dad passed away a few years ago.
I'm
but
sorry.
no, they. I'm trying to think of a good joke. By the way, I say we lost my dad. We lost my dad a few years ago, and I'm trying to think of the best. And what I'm saying now is that we lost Dad a few years ago, and I go, we don't know where he went. It still gets the laughs.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to come up with some
I got one.
good. What?
He owed me $10.
Okay.
It's not. His was better.
So,
Jeff's
yeah.
was better.
Okay.
No, but I
my
think
dad, and he owes me $10.
I don't get it.
We lost Dad a few years ago, and he owes me $10.
Death is
That's-
always
see,
a
that-
good.
You're never going to get that back.
Whoa, we lost that minute of broadcasting.
So anyway.
You owe me $10, Luke. Anyway, so I find this fascinating. And then, and there's a couple of other things that are fascinating. So you decide to go into it, and you're doing it at college. And
Oh
you're
no, you skipped junior high and high school. I had a blast with it in junior high and high school.
You're making money, though.
Oh yeah, I was making lots
Were
of
you
money.
like the cool kid then? When
No,
you were-
no.
No.
No. But in high school, my senior year in high school, this is so stupid. So, Cal Worthington Ford, right? We're all familiar with Cal Worthington.
Well, for
Favorite
those.
song.
Well, a lot of people aren't in California. You have to be in California. So Cal Worthington they didn't know him around the country.
No.
So Cal Worthington was this old guy who had a car dealership, and every night ad nauseum you would see his commercial, and the song would be,
If you need a new car,
Go see Cal.
it's supposed to be Go See Cal.
Yeah.
I thought it was pussy cow. If you need a new car, pussy cow. If you need a new car, pussy cow. If you need a new car, pussy cow, pussy cow, pussy cow, pussy cow, pussy cow.
And we never told her that she was wrong. So we used to say she knows the song from Cal Worthington, sing it, and everybody
and they would make me sing it.
Oh, that's great.
And all our friends thought we had the stupidest daughter in the world.
That's great. Well, my son still says, he's 6. He says he wants a Girl Squat cookie.
Girl squat.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know what that is, but
No,
I'm
I
intrigued.
think he knows what it is. we had a girl on the other day who was selling farts, and then we read that
was
Farrah
exciting.
Abraham is now selling Girl Squat cookies. She's selling her little shit in a jar.
She is selling poop in a jar.
Yes, poop
yeah.
in a jar.
No.
Farrah Abraham, the woman that was from 16 and Pregnant. She's
Yeah.
selling online her shit in a jar.
You know,
She's been on like every reality show.
between the farts and the shitting, I'm a self-made billionaire.
Girl Squat cookies. I like the Thin Mints.
Of course.
Okay. So you're in high school. And
Yeah, so junior high school. But in high school, so Cal Worthington Ford was the example. Okay, so it's a guy, and every local market had this guy that would get on late night and say, hey, how are you? Thursday night, and look what we've got for sale. And they walk down the line of cars, and they point to the car, and the prices are in the windshield. Cal Worthington was one of the very first guys that did that, right? So there's a guy in Dallas named Carl Westcott. He had Westcott Ford. And he would do that. And then he got a smaller dealership, a Datsun dealership that I knew was his. And I went to him and I said, I tried and tried. I said, will you please have Mr. Westcott call me back, his secretary? And probably by the 9th or 10th time, she probably said, you're not going to give up, are you? I go, no, I just want to talk to Mr. Westcott. Please. Told him I was a high schooler. I got an idea for his commercials. She says, okay. And so I got Westcott on the phone and he goes, all right, come on in and show me what you got. So I went into this and I carried my dummy and I said, I think I can do your commercials for your Datsun dealership. It was Datsun at the time. And I did it and he goes, okay, you know what? Why not? I got nothing going on. We'll let you try the commercials.
Are those still on YouTube?
I hope not. Yeah,
Look up
there's a couple
Westcott.
of them.
Look up
No,
Westcott Ford.
No, it's courtesy Pontiac and Datsun. Because then he had me start doing his dealership in Tyler, Texas, which
Jeff
was courtesy
Dunham. Jeff Dunham, courtesy.
Pontiac and Datsun. So I think we actually posted one.
Great. I love that story.
There's actually one on my channel. Datsun.
You figured a way to monetize. what
But the
you do.
fact that you would
DAT,
call, the
There
fact
you
that you had the gumption to call, like people won't do that. Here we go. Dunham shooting a car commercial. Here we go.
1981.
1980. Oh my gosh.
Oh boy, here we go.
A young.
And I had
Jeff-
different themes every week. I did it for 3 years. Different themes every week.
Did he
so-
pay you?
Oh hell yeah! Yes, that's how the money thing came up. There you look.
Oh, look at
Oh my god.
you. Look at your mustache.
Oh, my mustache. Yeah, my porn
It's
stash.
so the dummy looks more real than your mustache.
There I am, a senior in high school.
Is that aren't there videos?
Well, Archie, what's the matter with R2-D2? What are you, some kind of droid or something? R2-D2 is excited. How come? He's blown a circuit. Why? Because courtesy Pontiac and Datsun strikes back. That's right. And we're having car wars, and he's excited because our prices are so low here at courtesy Pontiac and Datsun. That's right. And my name is Archie Skywalker, and this is Obi-Wan Dunham. I see, yeah. And folks, let me show you some fantastic cars we got on sale. Look at this, a 1980 Pontiac Firebird, only $63.66. Fantastic. And look at this, a 1980 Pontiac Sunbird, $115 down and $115 a month for 48 months. And look at this, same car, $4,466, or a Datsun D210. And looky there, R2D2. Holy Chewbacca, gee whiz. Well, there he goes with high prices. That's courtesy Pontiac and Datsun right here in Tyler. Southwest Loop 323 right here in Big Tyler. Come on out, bring your lightsaber with a fantastic money and get a fantastic car from us.
The guy's counting it down to a live commercial.
Oh, my
It's like a
God.
live commercial. He's counting it down. It's
Oh,
like, I'm like,
that was live?
Oh yeah, and he had to ad lib the whole thing. So.
Oh, that's so funny. I love that this car. The cars look like shit. They really did. I know. I'm not saying courtesy if you're out there and you're listening.
They're out of business.
Oh no shit! Those cars looked horrible, but I like $4,600, $4,800. This one's you put down $115. It's $100 a month, and you
It
can
was
have.
1980, 1981.
What would they pay you for a commercial like that?
I honestly don't remember, but we would. Some of them were live, but most of them were actually on tape because I would tape a whole week's worth in one night. How are y'all doing this Wednesday night? You know what I mean?
You know,
And so-
to go from that to, do you know that Jeff Dunham has the most successful special on Comedy Central in the
Wow.
history of comedy specials,
we
right?
we have they actually of the top 4. We have 3 of the top 4 rated ones ever.
It
And-
doesn't surprise me because
And not only that, Polestar. on Polestar, you are the highest, one of the highest in at least the top 10 highest grossing tours.
Yeah, we did a Guinness Book of World Records for, I don't know what it was.
That's amazing.
The number of tickets sold.
But and here's what also fascinates me.
Puppet show.
For the puppet show.
The puppet show. But here's the other thing that fascinates me. So when you came on my show, I think the first dummy that popped was Walter.
Walter, right.
And what I didn't realize is that you made Walter.
Right. Yeah, and that was another thing when I was in college. You can have other people build characters for you, but that's what I call them, actually, is characters. You can have other people build them for you, but it takes forever. It's never what you really want, and they're very expensive.
But you said you weren't good in school. Like, I didn't do art. I didn't do sport. You're an artist.
Well, I taught myself. By the time I built the first dummy in the 6th grade, and it was horrible. But by the time I got to college, I was searching for a character that would be my own, that would be different. It would define me. I wanted my Mickey Mouse, my Bugs Bunny, something that was all my own. And I was just searching, and so I started building stuff myself. And
you built it. Like, how do you build up? Do you have one here?
Yeah, I have Walter here.
So can I look at it can I just look at him while you're talking? Because how do you build that?
There's a million different ways of doing it.
Did you build the one we're looking at?
Yeah. This is the Walter, and we have some jokes. If you wanted to do comedy material,
I would love to.
So I read somebody told me that if you do a ventriloquist act and become successful with a run-of-the-mill dummy, you have to pay royalties to that.
Well, that's the thing. That's the other thing nowadays is I don't dare use anything that anybody else made because the artist, it's like with any piece of artwork, the artist always has the right to the I forget the legalese of it all, but they have the right to the image or whatever.
IP, the image, right.
The image. So you can own that thing, but they have the right to the image. So now with the way things are, somebody creates something for you that you use, they still own a piece of that, and they can come after you for it.
Oh boy!
You're married now, but when you were single, being a ventriloquist, is that an asset or is it?
No, I said this on Kelly Clarkson's show that never. This is one thing a woman has never said in the history of man. Ventriloquist. That's hot. Never.
Well, hold on. She could have a legitimate threesome then, right?
I don't want to hear that from my daughter.
And not get in trouble.
But I would imagine a ventriloquist, a woman, how many women before you were married asked you to go down on them? Because you don't move your lips.
That voice comes from everywhere.
I don't want to hear that from my father.
Wow, I'm blushing now.
So let me see.
Wait. So you said that you went to college and you were doing this in college. If you knew from the 3rd grade that this is what you wanted to do, what did you study in college?
Well, it's one of those things.
Puppet making?
I was given some very good advice by the guy who eventually became my William Morris agent. He says, do not quit college now. He said, and as a comic, you have to be a certain age before you've reached a stride. Eddie Murphy, there are a couple of exceptions, but you have to have lived a certain amount of time to have had enough life experiences to really get it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And at age, what are you in college? 18, 19, 20 years old? You're an idiot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you were doing it since you were in
But
the
you were
4th
already
grade.
making a living.
Yeah, but it was comedy. I was a ventriloquist, but you're not really funny until you've had
and that's what I tell people. On AGT, we have people on who have done ventriloquism, and we have people, and that we had Darcy one, but she was an exception. And it's the same thing as impressionists.
Mm-hmm.
I always say, like, maybe you have the skill that you can do 2 voices at once, and maybe you have the skill that you can do an impersonation, but you need the material.
Right.
Without the material, it's nothing.
Well, see, again, back to Bergen, that's why it was funny, because his writer was brilliant. The writers were great. The characterizations were believable. The situations, they put them in the radio broadcast. It was funny. That was the point. That's why he was so popular. So it was, the technique was secondary to the fact that it was all good comedy.
So Walter, did you draw a picture of him on?
No, what happened was I went to the ventriloquist convention. Here's a whole nother Pandora's box of crap.
There's a ventriloquist convention.
Every summer we've
How
had
many people attend?
We started there in 1975. There were 100 people that attended, and now we're up to 600.
Times 2.
Are you including?
Times 2. Yeah,
I just got it.
Yeah.
Are you you got to be the epitome? You got to be the main.
I guess. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
But are you the closing ceremony, the speaker?
Yeah, I have a lecture every year, and
a lecture.
A lecture. There's so many different aspects to what you do. There's the acting, because you have to act and react, and then you have to make this person act and react.
Dummy,
right?
not
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, person, thing, it, character, whatever it is. So there's a lot of acting going on because you're not just telling jokes. You have to react to whatever the other guy just said.
I bet at the convention you see something that is so, you got to be polite and everything, but you probably see some horrible.
Well, talk about open mic nights at a comedy club. Okay, let's do an open mic night at a ventriloquist convention.
Oh my God.
You want to shoot yourself in the head. You really do.
What is the weirdest thing that you've
I
seen?
want to go. I want to go.
Oh, this is the convention. There's the
Oh,
convention.
no, there it is.
Can I just? That's the.
There's a lot of charming, lovely
Creepiest
people that
room.
go to that thing.
You ever see any real talented people though?
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Wait, did you start this convention? You said when we
No,
first
look at
started.
that. There's me right there. Oh my Lord, look at that. How many? Oh, good. Ugh.
What's the weirdest thing you've seen at the convention?
Oh, just stupid. The talking toilet.
That's great.
Just stupid. It's like you're writing jokes and they're all puns.
You know,
It's
I
just
did a
horrible.
puppet. Do you remember I did it on
could
stage?
do-
A ventriloquist.
you could do
So I
ventriloquism.
had a toilet. I had a little potty.
Oh no.
No, I did, and I stuck my hand up through it, and I had a brown sock, and it was Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, get out of town. Where did you do that?
Yuck Yucks in Toronto.
But you could also do ventriloquism. You could also talk without opening your mouth. You were able to do that. You could do the alphabet, I think.
I didn't do that.
Yes, you did.
You also did it with a person on stage.
That's
That's
not good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why? So he's not a very articulate ventriloquist.
No, but you're amazing at that. When you watch,
You should have a dummy
when
who had a
when you're in the
stroke.
room with Jeff, and he is doing his act. Even when you know, as well as I know Jeff, we've done shows together. You're not acting when Walter's talking. I truly believe
you
that
look
Walter's
at him.
talking, and I look
At
at
Walter.
Walter, and I have no qualms until after. Here, come here.
Well, oh my gosh, look at that. What's that?
Me,
Who made that?
me.
No, you-
That's great. Oh my
That's
God.
hilarious, Howie.
The Howie Mandel.
dummy.
Yeah,
That's so scary.
is it?
Yeah, it's scary.
Does
Yeah.
his mouth open?
No.
Oh. Well, he's
He
What
can
does
he
he
can do
do?
nothing without moving his lips. He can wave like say goodbye to him.
so he's the
Bye. Bye.
Bye. But also
He's waving right now for the,
the
people that are not
Howie
watching.
dummy. The Howie dummy is throwing his voice, and you're the dummy.
He looks
You're-
like Mussolini with glasses on.
It's kind of what you look
Are you
like.
talking about
Dad.
me or the,
The dummy. You're dummy. Yeah.
the puppet? This is a puppet
Character.
character.
Yeah.
Does it ever come?
You talk too much, and that dummy doesn't talk enough.
the
like the
dummy is.
opposite.
I told you, let's not bring our personal shit to the show. Okay, but I'm fascinated at your ability, your artistry in being able to make something.
Well, again, that was just necessity is the mother, right?
So do you have-
I want to build. He's a crazy, like he's an engineer.
Right.
Like I once. I'm at IKEA. I go to IKEA and I made a.
You built a playhouse for me.
No, I didn't. A
The tree house
without a tree.
that didn't end up in a tree. There was no tree. It
was just on the ground?
It was on the ground. and
It
he-
wasn't a house. It was a box. It was
Yeah.
a square, 4 pieces of wood nailed together
the
badly.
thought that counts.
But here, so that's me.
yeah.
I go. Jeff Dunham has a studio not far from where we're doing this.
Uh-huh.
You know what he built? A helicopter.
No, you didn't. Did you really?
4 of them, actually. 3 and a half. I haven't
No.
finished. the
Real
fourth one
ones
yet.
that fly.
Hey, pull that up. Hey, pull
You
up the-
started this podcast saying you weren't good at anything.
Oh,
No, I'm not talking about a model helicopter. I'm talking about the kind you see in traffic.
put
Like
Jeff Dunham helicopter. See what comes up.
your helicopter's
Why
going to come
would
up.
There it is. See if
You don't
there's-
A helicopter
There.
accident.
Oh, look at that. Well, okay, real ones. Oh, let's go to the real ones.
Real
Those are all-
ones.
those are models. Those
There's
are
a
fake.
the yellow one's real, right?
No, yeah, but those are garbage. Look,
You don't trust ones you can buy.
Did
Jeff?
you have a
to-
helicopter
No,
accident?
the real ones. Yeah, I had an helicopter accident. No, get
Are you
to my
okay?
helicopter. Wait, is it on the right? Is
that
over
it?
there?
Road
No, that's-
away elite.
No. None of these. There it is. There I am, kneeling next to it. No, the green one.
The green helicopter.
Wait, go back to
you were
where-
just there. There. The red, white, and blue. That right there. I painted it right after 9/11.
Wow, you built that.
Wow, and
Yeah,
that
I built
flies.
that. Oh yeah. Here. I built that right after 9/11, so that's why that weird paint job with the paint ripping off.
Did you paint that?
No, I did not. I told the guy I wanted military green from the UK, and he did from Vietnam.
Ah.
Oh,
I'm like, no, I wanted the
So that's
dark
what's
green.
wrong with it.
Yeah, that's it.
So where is that helicopter today?
At my hangar in Camarillo.
How many? You have all 4 helicopters?
No. What happened was I built this one. No, I'm sorry. I built one, and then I flew it for a few hundred hours, and they came out with a better kit, and I built the second
it's
one
a
and sold the
kit.
first one. Yeah, it's a kit.
It comes in a box.
Oh, it comes in like 60 boxes.
You read the
little
instructions.
Are you not concerned about things you like? Just me. If I wouldn't get into anything I built, I'm scared to sit on this chair. I assembled it. I went to Staples. I got this chair and I had to put the wheels on the bottom.
It is a little unnerving because the first thing you do is when you take it to altitude, which means 3,000 feet, is you pretty much shut the engine down and make sure you can land it with the engine off.
Crazy.
You can from 2,000 feet without an engine.
Yeah,
you can land it.
Yeah, you can land a helicopter one time with no engine. Yeah.
One time.
Yeah.
Is it a landing? So you crashed. You said you crashed.
Yeah, well, I crashed when I was practicing doing that.
Did you get hurt?
Well, how do you practice doing something one time?
It's called an auto rotation, and you can any helicopter the engine goes out, you can land it.
But you didn't.
But just like an airplane, the engine goes out, you can land an airplane.
No,
once.
it has a
have
wingspan, and I feel like an airplane can glide.
Yeah,
I feel like this is a mosquito dropping out.
We're like the podcast that talk about helicopter accidents and flying, right? Isn't this the third guest we've had that's talked about flying helicopters and crashing and stuff?
Yeah.
If I could ask you, how many dummies do you have? How many-
Wait. I want to go back. So you dropped down. Did you get hurt?
Oh no, what I was doing was I could do it with my eyes closed just about. I was just
Well, I can crash with my eyes closed too.
yeah, I was in Texas in the middle of a cornfield, and I just got disoriented and thought the wind was at my nose and it was at my tail, and that's a bad thing. And I rolled it over.
You didn't even know which way wow. And you walked away.
Yeah,
That's good.
not happy.
So you built that.
And then 3 months later, I rebuilt it and had it flying again. And what I did was, my buddy told me at the time, he goes, "You need to auto rotate down to the exact spot that you crashed." And because I
Memories,
so
reminiscing.
crazy. You know, when I crashed, I hit my head on the fire extinguisher and bent my Ray-Bans, and they fell in the dirt because the helicopter was on its side. And so I picked up put them in the case, and I said to myself, as I was hanging from the harness, I'm going to come back here and straighten these sunglasses back out. And my buddy goes, "You should auto-rotate to that very spot, straighten the sunglasses out there." And I did that. And 3 months later, I went out by myself. I auto-rotated down to that spot, landed right where I had crashed, pulled the sunglasses out of the box, straightened them up, dusted them off, put them on, and flew off into the sunset.
If Ray-Ban is listening, anybody from Ray-Ban, what a great little integration we just had. Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
It sounds dangerous, man. It sounds like you're
No,
risking your life.
because once you straighten them out, they'll hold on to your ears, and as long as the glass in the lenses isn't burnt. But
And that's why he's where he is today.
but here, let's go back. So I'm talking about the ability to build things. So did you have the image of Walter? Did you say I want to do an
No,
old man?
I was going to say, I went to the ventriloquist convention, and there was a guy, okay, back to Edgar Bergen, had made Bergen for a Disney movie, had a frowning Charlie made. A frowning Charlie that was a pirate, just looked like that, right?
Right.
And there was a guy, a dummy maker at the convention that made a frowning dummy, an old man dummy.
Right.
And nobody in the dealer's room would touch the thing. Like, what are you going to do with a frowning dummy? He's not happy. He can't tell jokes. What are you going to do with that thing? And I kept walking by it going, there's something to
great
this.
character.
Yeah. And so I said, can I? And they had a dealer's show. And he was just, he didn't want to get on stage. And I said, can I borrow that for the dealer's show? And he goes, sure. I went back to the room. I wrote like 9 jokes for a grumpy old man. I thought, this will work for about 3 minutes. And I went on stage and killed with it for about 10 minutes. And so I went back to him and I said, could I buy this from you? And again, this was 1986. Right. I said, can I buy this from you? And it was $2,000. And he goes, yeah. I said, can you give me a break on the cost? Because I don't have $2,000 to spend on a dummy. He goes, nope, the price is what it is. I said, I think I'll make him famous. And he goes, nope, price is what it is. I'm like, okay. So I went back home. I made my own frowning dummy with a mirror and a chunk of clay and a knife. And I pretty much, sculpted my own face in old man form. And that was that.
It's a great
You never
character.
sculpted before?
Nope, never sculpted before. So I just
That's so fucking amazing.
well, yeah, and then this Walter is version 2. So
Is he that different? Like, can I see his face?
he's not much different. Well, what happened was I got on the Best Damn Sports Show, period. Remember with Tom Arnold's show?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting with these giant athletes, and I'm on 2 or 3 times, and Walter was very tiny,
Right.
And it didn't look right. So I went home and I built a bigger Walter. And by the time I got him finished, they didn't want me on the show anymore. So I had a bigger Walter, and that's what I've used.
And
ever
that's
since.
the bigger Walter.
Yeah, but his face is
How many of these are there?
this one and the one the original one, and then another one that I made for the Hertz commercial. Saw that I did a Hertz commercial where we had to get wet, and we were so I had to make a waterproof one.
Beck, You got to make a waterproof puppet.
So do
Let me
the
bring him
jokes-
out. I love him.
Does the character come first and then the jokes, or jokes and then you think of a character to create?
That's a really good question. Nowadays, what I've been doing is I just think up the character. I think up the character, and then I build the character, and then
The jokes.
the jokes.
But the character is sometimes the joke. Like it would with Ahmed, it was like because
of course.
9/11. You know, you said, okay, I'm going to do 9/11 jokes. Let me come up with Ahmed.
Well, I didn't do 9/11 jokes. I did jokes about the idiots that caused 9/11.
Right.
Right.
Well, that's what I'm
different.
saying.
That's
I'm saying-
completely,
fucking
different.
assholes.
Yeah, exactly. Oh.
Let me see. This is amazing. Look at that.
Oh, man.
But can you imagine that he carved that?
No, I sculpted him.
Something-
See, usually
What's the difference between carving and sculpting?
sculpting is with clay, and then you make a mold, and then you put whatever you want in the. Yeah, sure. Hey, and you were talking about looking at the dummy when he's talking. My favorite thing is when I do like a television interview and the guy with the microphone does this.
Oh yeah, he moves
how
the
many
microphone.
times? Yeah, he'll move the microphone. And like, no, I get this is good, but
But look, even now, without him saying something, and that's what's amazing about your art is he's not saying anything. It's just so expressive already.
Well, that's one of the other things is the manipulation is just being able to, I don't realize how hard it is until you give it to somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. Then it's like, oh, yeah.
Because you're not doing anything yet, but you're doing so much. You know, I'm watching him, and he's got more character right now than you. Like his eyebrows are working. You know, he's
Fine, yes. Well, it's good to see you again, Howie, and his, I don't know the young lady to your
Jacqueline.
right.
That's-
Jacqueline, good to see you.
His daughter.
Oh, yeah, like I care. Great, nice to meet you. Oh, that's a nice dummy you got there on your desk there, Howie. It's horrible looking.
it's me.
You look better.
I look better than
Yeah, you do. You look a lot better than your doll.
Once the character's
you.
established, the jokes kind of write themselves after.
No.
a while. Well, no. I mean, you can go off on.
Look at him.
tangents.
He's got paper.
He's got paperwork.
But what's funny is he takes out, if you're just listening to this, so Jeff has got some material that he's written for today's performance, but he takes out the paper, he's got the paper, and he's showing the paper to the puppet.
Well, see, that's what happens
Walter.
on stage. If there's something when I do something like that, when I have to pull a piece of paper out on stage, I'll start looking at it, and then he'll look over and he'll start looking at it. Yeah, at first it's like, oh, that makes perfect sense, and it's like, wait a minute, you want to do a couple of these?
I do.
Okay, here we go. Okay. Donald Trump attorneys are really feeling the fire lately, but they will not give in to attorney-client white privilege. Thank you. Can I keep that? Okay. Thank you very much.
Hold on, just do this one down here.
I love that.
I got hold on.
I'm stalling because he can't find it. Right.
Come on, where'd it go? Oh, there it is.
Oh, yeah, okay. Joe Biden was asked what he thinks of the Canadian truckers. He said, they're my favorite hockey team. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. That's all you get.
That's it. That's done. You're done.
2 and out.
Okay, we'll do one more.
All right.
Close. You
That's
got to
fantastic.
close
Okay, I got to close.
How do you know that wasn't a closer?
Yeah.
because it's the second one.
That could have been the closer.
I think it was supposed to be.
I haven't gone through these enough.
We can re-edit this podcast, and we can put that joke first. And
Let's
then,
make the judgment after he does this one.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, do the second to the last.
What? Second to last. Okay. I find myself watching events I never would watch during the Olympics. I watch women's figure skating. Russia took gold, USA took silver, and North Korea's Kim Jong-un took the Swedish women's team hostage. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And he owes me $10.
Yeah.
Walter's amazing.
Oh,
And
thanks.
it's amazing how
love it.
long this is. You know, my talk show. You said you found him in '86 or
Well,
the founding
86. I went back to my apartment in Waco and built him, and so that was 86, 87, yeah.
How far back is the history of ventriloquism? Does it go back hundreds of years?
Oh, it goes back to before Christ.
Christ's sake, I didn't know that.
No, before
Soothsayers used to make idols talk, and,
So was it sorcery back then? Was
Yeah,
it, it was called sorcery back
yeah,
then.
sure,
Okay.
because they'd make, it was the fake, the fake soothsayers and all
Okay.
that.
Wow,
They'd make
the history of ventriloquism.
I like it.
So when you now tour and you have a very successful tour, do you find you get in trouble with political humor?
You know, that's the fine line of where you go. And what Walter does now on the show is he comes out as Biden. And but it's interesting because the material that I'm using now, it's just kind of, you're making fun of being old, you're making fun of this and that, not the politics of it.
Do you change the voice? Do you do a Biden voice? Does
No, of course not, because he's very self-aware. He comes out and I go, "Why are you dressed as Biden?" And he says, So,
and what does he say?
I don't remember.
Is it easier for you to do those jokes that are kind of on the edge because it's not you doing them?
Another
it's
great
Walter?
question. And that's why I love
That's
what
why I have her here.
Yeah,
Because I have
exactly.
no great questions. So far, all the great questions have come from Lou and Jacqueline. I have not asked one good question.
Well,
I've been here the whole time. He has never said to me once, "Howie, good question." Lou had the first brilliant question.
Mine was great.
Yeah.
Mine might have been better than Jackie's. I'm not bragging.
Go ahead.
So oh my gosh, did you steal that Caesar sign?
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, that's the one. That was like.
So you play Caesars many times.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
look at the seat. It's above. That's
Oh.
that's the middle. That's the center booth from Caesar's Palace.
Wow.
When they tore down Caesar's, the Circus Maximus was
Yeah.
the name of the theater.
Yeah.
And then they replaced it with.
That was the last place Bergen played before he died.
My question was
In front
so
of that-
good that it got skimmed over.
Hold on, I want to get back to it though. I want to get back to it. See,
you
that's
do
what
have
that's why I love what I do because I can point and counterpoint. If he says a joke that's like really not okay, I can come back and go, wait a minute, and then give the other side of it. So people walk away from my show going, I really don't know what his politics are, what he thinks, because he argued both
Yeah.
things.
You
What
have
does
a
he
res-
think of cancel culture?
See what we got. Yeah. I love the Super Bowl halftime show. All those. Hold on, let me read this. See if we can do this one. I forgot what I said. All these hours performing on rooftops. Oh no, we can't do that.
Why?
No, it's not okay. It's not funny. We'll just go with that.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
The cancel
So
culture.
you have a residency in Vegas, right?
No. I did for a while, right before I did my NBC special, which was 2015.
I'm gonna be in Vegas. I'm gonna be in Vegas March 28th through April 3rd, including April 1st at the Tropicana in Las Vegas Laugh Factory, including April 1st.
Oh.
And I'm giving away $62.
What the hell is he talking about?
We don't know. We never know, Walter.
I don't know either. Fine.
Welcome to Lou.
I need some glasses like that. You can put them on the back of my head and look just like you.
I know that would look like you would look
amazing.
like me in the back. So,
So the cancel culture, by the way, in all seriousness, I get on stage and I kind of don't care. But as a comic that
Yes,
there's
you
a
do.
certain line. I do care, but there's that line that you can push just a little bit.
But comedy is here to be pushed. Otherwise,
Yep.
it's not comedy, and
Right.
that's kind of inhibiting us all. You have smaller, younger children. They're 6.
Yep. Twin boys.
Twin boys. Are they? Do they love this or
No,
do
they're
they,
at that magical age where fantasy and reality are okay living together. So they know that Walter and Peanut and all the guys go in the suitcase and they don't talk when they're in the suitcase. But then when they come out, they know that they can talk, and they look them straight in the eye and talk to them and laugh and think it's hilarious.
So in their minds, you are just locking an older, smaller gentleman.
I guess
What do they say at school to their friends and their teachers?
that was another thing. When my daughters were young, they didn't get to the age where I was uncool. And then when they got to the age that it would be uncool is when my special Spark of Insanity came out, and I introduced Ahmed the Dead Terrorist, and then things literally exploded for my career, and I became the cool dad because boys were talking to, nobody loves a dead terrorist more than a 14-year-old boy.
Right. It's good. I don't think I've ever been cool to my kids.
Ever?
No. Ever. They didn't even use their last names. I think we've talked about this on the podcast before, but one time Jackie had a friend over at the house.
Yeah.
You could tell it.
Yeah, I had my best friend that I had been friends with for over a year, for a long time.
And how old were you?
14,
Okay.
I don't know. It was middle school.
That perfect
it was
age.
Middle school.
15.
But and she came. He was on the road a lot, so she had come over before, but never seen him.
Right.
And she came over, and he was home, and she went into the kitchen to go get a drink, and saw my dad, and ran back to my room and said, "Jackie, you're not gonna believe who is in your house." And I'm like, "Who?" And she goes,
great.
"Howie Mandel is in your house." And I said, No way. And so we
did not.
spent the rest of the day spying on him to see what he's doing in my house.
She wouldn't tell people I was
did.
her father.
That is awesome.
It's an awesome story, but it's
great.
also kind of sad that I'm so embarrassing she wouldn't admit to being my daughter.
Well, that's great. That is the best story.
Not today, though. She's proud of you today.
I'll tell you one story that's not quite as good. When my daughter Kenna, my youngest daughter, who's studying to be a doctor, she went over to a friend's house when she was like 4 years old, and she's walking around the house, and she finally went to the little girl, her friend. She goes, "Where are your daddy's dummies?" Because she thought every dad had dummies.
Have you ever brought them to school? Have you ever done this in front of the class?
Oh yeah. When the girls were little, Peanut, my purple idiot crazy guy, we would do read the night before Christmas, and he would of course screw it up big time. And it became such a hit that I turned it into one of my specials. It was the base for one of my Comedy Central specials. Oh, that was the #1 ever, most viewed Comedy Central special ever was that one.
The thing you did
The Christmas one. The Christmas one.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Sorry, not the Jewish thing, but you know.
Walter.
Are you
is
most
great.
comfortable when you have a dummy on your knee? Are you at all comfortable without one in a social setting?
You know,
Another good question.
the second to
Just
the,
in case.
another
No,
good
he
question.
has
You're not
say it.
allowed to
You
say it
can't
for
say it.
yourself.
The second to the last time I did Leno's show, we had everything planned out. It was going to be a desk piece with one of the dummies. And I go out there and we sit down and Jay and I start talking and we just start telling stories, comic stories back and forth. And it was getting laughs and it was great. And the segment was over and I said, thanks. And I was walking down the hall back to the dressing rooms and you could see my manager there and my publicist just all horrified, waiting for me to explode in anger. And I'm like, that was the greatest spot ever. I didn't have to pull out a doll. It was great.
Oh, you didn't.
No, we didn't. I never got to it. It was just, I just loved it because now it was just me. It wasn't me relying on this thing. Hey, you know?
But it is funny that you had, if you would have had him out and not say a word.
That's just really funny.
Like the
Just
last,
sit there
the
this.
last 5 minutes of this. You just have an old man sitting on your lap, and nobody, and he doesn't have
Can
to
I
talk
make
to
a
you.
suggestion for a dummy?
Oh my gosh. Oh my
One that is bigger than you.
Okay, Tim Conway did a comedy special, and
What?
I don't know if you Google Tim Conway and ventriloquist dummy, he did a show, and I've always thought it was great. The trouble is, how do you carry it?
You know, here's the thing. I did this show on CBS, and I think I have the picture here. The picture's in the other room. If somebody in my office, Rich, the one where I'm holding the little guy, I forget what his name was, but he was the smallest man in the world. I think he's a dwarf. He was with the circus.
Mishu?
Mishu.
This is a real guy?
Yeah, his name
Yeah?
was Mishu, and I was doing a TV show, and Mishu, who was Michael Jackson's friend.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I'll
an
show you-
actual human being.
Yeah, I'll show you. Here's the picture. I have a picture of Mishu.
Where you-
Right here.
where
He's
you- oh,
bringing
right
it in.
Yeah.
So I did ventriloquist.
Oh my gosh!
Oh.
Wow, look at
This
that.
is me holding Mishu.
If you go on YouTube, you can see it.
How
you can
old
see-
was he there? Mishu.
How old was Mishu there?
Yes.
Probably 50.
Oh.
Why?
What? Really?
Why do you want his age?
I'm just curious to know.
Did he
how
grow?
old
Is
the-
what he's asking.
Yeah.
No, he was short for his age. Well, I don't. That's not a good question. Enough with the questions, Lou. But
Lou had one good question, and now they keep coming.
so we're doing
It's got to my head.
let me tell the story. So we're doing the rehearsal with him.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing was, I was going to drink water and he was going to sing, and we're doing the rehearsal with him, and this is not a joke. He farts. He farted on my arm.
On your hand.
my
And I
Oh,
could feel the
great.
heat,
Oh,
and
no.
I feel the vibration, and I dropped him.
No, you did not.
I did. I thought he shart all over my hand, and I dropped him, and he's lying on the floor. This is like 2 seconds before that happened.
Right.
He's lying on the floor going, "Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you." That's my ventriloquist story.
Yeah, the
That's
amazing part
hilarious.
is how he said "fuck you" 4 times. He didn't move his lips once. That was
That was amazing. Well,
Amazing.
if Jeff drops you, Walter, you don't
I don't say "fuck you."
say anything if
No,
he
I
drops
don't.
you.
Oh, there's another joke.
Oh well.
I love that. Are you touring right now?
Yeah. And we started back up a few months ago, and we've made up all the shows that we had to reschedule 3 and 4 times. It was nuts.
And jeffdunham.com, they can go find your dates.
Yep.
Also, do you find that you're inspiring a future ventriloquist industry as far as you sell Walter puppets and stuff, don't you?
I sell all kinds of stuff. Yeah, we have dummies and little Jeff. It looks a little bit like me, and I like it because it's just a general character. There have been people have done all kinds of horrible and weird and great things with those little Jeff dummies.
Uh-oh.
Just they put costumes on them and make them.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, there was one guy in the Middle East who did an entire legit film with him with the little dummy dressed up as an Arab or whatever he was. And
dressed up.
Yeah, I guess so.
Is that on YouTube?
I think so. The
What would I
weird
look
part was
for?
he had blue eyes.
What would I look? That's the weird part? The fact that he did a whole movie with you? The weird part was he had blue eyes.
Hold on, let's
Otherwise,
see.
what would I look after?
Okay, there's a little Jeff dummy right there.
Yeah,
right.
But the movie.
Yeah, the movie. I don't know what was the name of that movie. I have no idea.
Jeff, what about the Jeff Dummy movie Middle East? Do that.
I don't know what they called it. I don't know.
It's not coming up. No. I guess you got to get that on Netflix.
When Jeff is thinking, it's the voice of character.
What?
When
What?
he's thinking, you hear this guy go.
What? What are you talking about?
When he was thinking, the voice was coming out of the fucking dummy while he was thinking.
Anything that's coming out of Jeff they're all coming out of Jeff.
Yeah, but it was,
You know, we've had on America's Got Talent, we've had three ventriloquist winners.
Yep.
Like that's the.
It's just the oddest thing. I really do think it's odd.
You know them all? Do you know Terry Fader?
I know Terry Fader, and of course
Darcy
Darcy
Lynn.
Lynn. Darcy Lynn's great. Love it.
And
then the other
the English guy. He had me do. He got in trouble for that.
I know he did.
Because David Straussman, is that who used to do it?
David Straussman did. Well, there were a handful of things in there that I don't
Right, but
I don't-
he did the thing.
mask.
Where he had me wear the mask, and
Yeah.
he would move it electronically and talk.
Yeah, that mask thing goes
but
back
why did
for
he get in trouble?
Because other people had done that.
borrowed material.
Oh,
But a lot of people had done that bit for years.
Have you ever done a remote control dummy?
As a matter of fact, my senior year in high school, again, I was known for this stuff. I got, again, this was 1979, so goes back. I got a whole radio controlled, like for doing an airplane. Took it, disassembled it, and put the entire transmitter in my suit jacket, right? So I had it all in my suit jacket, and then built the controls so I could control the mouth, the eyes, and the moving head in the palm of my hand. And then I had a wireless mic, which was really rare back in 1979, right?
Right.
A wireless body pack. So, and I could, in the other hand, I could hit the mute button so I wouldn't come over the PA. So the dummy and I got in an argument on stage. I put him on the stool. I walked off a stage into the audience, yelling at him from the audience, not coming over the PA.
great.
And then the dummy moves his head like this, and the audience it's a 2,000 seat auditorium in high school, and the audience goes what? Because the dummy's moving, and then he turns around toward the audience, moves his eyes, moves his head, and then and I let up on the mute button and talk over the PA, and the dummy goes, "Is he throwing a fit?" And the place was like, "What?" And
That's
that was-
amazing.
That was in '79. Yeah.
So that's before anybody that I know was
Yeah.
doing it. Why did you get rid of that?
because it's a trick. It's not funny.
Oh, it's funny.
You know what I mean? It's funny one time, but that's my whole deal. Is that I feel like I'm a stand-up comic that happens to use ventriloquism as the vehicle for the comedy. It's a comedy team. We're telling jokes.
But isn't it funny? It's like Lewis and Martin. You know, he was always. It started, you know, in the Catskills where one of them was in the audience.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, they didn't start on stage together. He started heckling him.
They
Oh.
do two separate acts. He was a singer, and Jerry was the comic. And like you said, they were two.
They would heckle each
would
other
heckle
from
each other.
from the stage.
Well, that's my whole thing with this is that it's comedy. It's got to be funny. If it's not funny, then
You are
why-
really funny.
Why? Oh, thanks. But if you're not funny, then why are you up there? And that's the reason my 15 minutes of fame, I think, has lasted all these years, is because people keep coming back and bringing family and friends because it's escapism. It's funny. It's
Oh, yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
it's
It's
you know.
entertainment. It's entertainment
Yeah.
in its truest form.
No, it is amazing, and this is, you know, and I think that's the reason that people on America's Got Talent have been, you know, ventriloquism
It's a
has been.
fascinating little thing.
Well, it's
right?
not because of that. Because our show is probably the biggest family show there is,
Sure.
and I don't care if you're 5 or 95, you're going to sit there and watch it with your grandparents.
Yeah.
And by the same token, every element of what you do, Jeff, is entertaining to everybody. And whether you're just fascinated at the, you know, just
Yeah,
the
sure.
engineering of how this is working and how I, as an adult, is believing that I'm sitting here with this this gentleman.
Oh, am I still here? Good,
Yes, you
thanks.
are.
Yeah, I don't-
And I believe you're still here to the fact of I'm looking at you and I don't see it coming out of you at all. It's fascinating. And then on top of that, you're a really good comic. Have you ever done stand-up comedy without ventriloquism?
The first 20, 30 minutes of my show is just me doing stand-up. And again, the Comedy Central, they're always like, just, and same thing on NBC and Netflix, just get to the dummies, don't do stand-up. Well, for one of my specials, I always tape everything.
Right.
And I said, we have to send them this stand-up too, Comedy Central. It was Spark of Insanity.
Right.
And they liked it so much, they said, we would like to purchase a 90-minute version as well as the 42-minute version. So they had an hour and a half special for me that they showed for a long time that included my first 30 minutes of stand-up. And all it was is, talking about my girls and them growing up, and that's what's fun.
When did you think, like, I've arrived, I've made it? What was that? Was there one project or one thing, one show?
Well, the two moments. One was the first time on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, which was 1990, but that was just kind of the beginning. That was my goal I set when I graduated from high school.
We all did.
Yeah.
In this business.
Yeah. But when I graduated from high school, I said my 10-year goal and give myself 10 years to get on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. And I moved out to LA. I graduated in the spring of 1980. I moved out to Los Angeles in the fall of '88. I got booked on The Tonight Show for the first time in the fall of '88 after just having moved out here. And the night before I was to go on, Jim McCauley, you know that name?
I do.
He came and saw me again at the Comedy Magic Club, and he left. And this was the morning I was supposed to be on, right before Christmas. He called me that morning and he said, "I'm sorry, I was mistaken. You're not ready." And I was on TV Guide. We'd called all the relatives. I bought the $1,000 suit, everything. And he said, "I'm really sorry." And he said one thing that stuck with me forever. When it comes to being on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, it's better to be 5 years late than 1 day early. And I use that in every aspect of my life. Any project, I want to be 5 years late rather than 1 day early.
You think he was right, though?
Yes, absolutely. Because a year and a half later, I auditioned for The Tonight Show 9 times, and I got 8 no's. For Jim McCauley, 8 no's. You're not ready. You're not ready. You're not funny enough. It was always, you're not funny enough.
No, he told me I'll never be on. I did it 20.
But you were, right?
I did it 22 times
Wow.
because he would never book me.
How did you get booked?
Joan Rivers.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
is that right?
Yeah, she brought me on.
Well, but my point was, in April of 1990, I got on my first time, which was 1 month away from my 10-year goal.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like a vision board.
Yeah.
You had that. That's pretty amazing. But that had to be devastating that morning.
Oh, I was, when you're that age, that young, if nobody in your life close to you has died, that was the most devastating thing that had ever happened to me.
And when you went on the Johnny Carson show the first time, was it terrifying?
Friday night,
Yeah.
Bob Hope, B.B. King, Johnny Carson, and me.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'd opened for Bob Hope a handful of times, and so I kind of knew him. My favorite thing with Bob Hope is, "What are you doing after the show?" We were in New Mexico, some university. I said, I'm going to go back to the hotel. He goes, "Why don't you get on the plane with me?" I go, "What plane?" He goes, "I have a plane." I'm like, "You have a plane?" So there I was on a plane with Bob Hope and Dolores Hope flying back to Burbank.
Wow.
And Dolores kept saying, "You sure you don't know how to play canasta?" "No, Mrs. Hope, I don't know how to play."
That's an amazing story. So did you kill the first time on the Tonight Show?
At that moment in time in my career, it was great because I got called to the couch the first time.
Wow.
Yes, which was great. And Freddie DeCordova said, "Why don't you have another dummy?" I go, "Yeah, Walter." And he goes, "Do you have him with you?" I go, "Yeah, he's in the car." He says, "Go get him, put him behind the couch." I said, "For what?" He goes, "I have a feeling Johnny's going to like you." And what? He goes, "Well, because you might be called
So
over."
Walter wasn't the first character?
No,
you
it
did?
was a peanut and then my Jose Jalapeno on a stick. And and so I had Walter behind the couch, and then that's when all the ad-libbing came out. Because what'd you do? What'd you do the first time out with Carson? Oh, because I said, "You know where we are? It's Johnny Carson, The Tonight Show."
I looked over at Carson and I said, "Yeah, well, la-dee-da."
And then you turned to Ed McMahon. He did all the Publishers Clearinghouse stuff.
Yeah.
Turned to Ed. What'd you say?
I looked at Ed and I said, "Don't you have some envelopes to lick?"
And then
they roar?
at the end of the it was great. At the end of the show, during commercial break, I turned to Carson. I said, "Mr. Carson, would it be okay if you thanked me for coming?" And he goes, "Yeah, don't worry about it." So he said, "Jeff, at the end of the show, Jeff, we're winding up tonight. Jeff, thanks for coming to the show. I hope you can come back again soon." And Walter, what'd you do?
I turned to Carson. I said, "Yeah, it'll be a cold day in hell before you get me back here."
And luckily, he spun around in his chair and he laughed, and it was great.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Yeah,
What a
so-
great moment. What a great show business story.
Yeah, it was
It
great.
is.
So it was that moment. You asked me that was the moment, and then the other one, honest to God, Howie, is when you and Jay came to when I got the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and it meant so much that you were there and that Leno was there. It was just great. But
Well,
you know what
and
I
you
did?
did-
You know, they said you could bring 2 celebrities.
Right.
So I wrote a letter to Steve Martin, and I said, I'm getting my star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I said, and they said you could bring a celebrity, and how could I not ask the true influence in my comedy career to come and be there?
Mine too,
But
his
but
too.
and then I said, but since Mr. Carson is dead, could you come instead? He turned me down.
Did he write back?
Yeah, he wrote me back. Yeah.
Oh,
So I had already asked you, so then I asked Leno.
That's
But
fantastic.
Steve Martin really influenced you, right?
Well, yeah, you're in junior high, and
Influence
Steve
me.
Martin. It's like,
I
how
love
can
Steve
you not?
Martin.
And
But I was honored that you would ask me because I know, getting a star on the Walk of Fame is like the epitome. As a kid, when you come to town, you're walking down Hollywood Boulevard and you see these stars and you
Yeah.
go, oh my God, this is.
Well, plus to have you guys there, it wasn't just me and some relatives. You know what I mean? A couple of guys in the business, and I don't know about you, but I don't have a bunch of friends in show business. I have like hardly any.
I'm working with my daughter.
Yeah. But you and I've talked about that, how it was a little bit lonely on the road, and I wasn't a partier. You weren't either, right?
No, people used to say I was playing Vegas a lot, and John Mendoza, who's
Yep.
my friend, also was my opening act in Vegas, and people used to always. We were there 4 months out of the year,
Yep.
not a residency at the MGM, but people used to say, "Can we come backstage?" or "What do you guys do after the show? We're in
Yep.
Vegas." I can't tell you. The normal thing was we would end the show.
Yep.
We would both go over to like CVS.
Go have
or
soup.
well, after we would get an ointment or whatever we needed, or some pills or some nasal spray because it's very dry there, and then we would go back and have some soup. And once the soup was done, we'd go up and go to sleep. But that's my Vegas nights.
I know, that's the same with me. It's like I was watching Breaking the Band about Rush. And Rush was the same way. They would be on the road with, opening for Mariah Heap, and these guys would be out partying, and Rush would be like, and they go back to their room. And so I feel like I'm the Rush of comedians.
I went to.
My mom and I would go, and my whole family would go on the road whenever he was in Vegas, and
Right.
he would do a show, and we'd be waiting up in the room until he would give us the call that he's done with the show, and then
Right.
we'd come down and meet him for soup. And then go back to bed. That's what we did every night.
I'm ready for
I'm
soup.
ready for soup. Every night.
Bring the kids down. We're gonna have soup.
Wow. That's so sad. That's the truth. And the same thing on the road. I got a tour bus, and people would go, oh, yeah. You hear Gabriel Iglesias has 10 guys on his bus, and they party, and it's just me.
Oh, and me on there too. That's the worst. And
Well, no,
then-
you're in the case.
Yeah, I know. Maybe not.
Yeah, oh. Maybe
I remember
Walter's partying.
My tour bus. I had a tour bus for a while. I remember playing the Catskills. Did you ever
Yep.
play the Catskills?
No, I never did.
Oh, you're so lucky.
I'm Presbyterian. Howard.
You don't have to be a Jew. I'm telling you, you don't have to be a Jew.
I love
but
the Catskills.
well, it's a nice place, but I just remember doing a show there, and then I had my bus there, and I'm about to leave, and some old guy comes out, and he goes, "Is this your bus?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Can I see your bus?" And I go, "Okay." So he comes on, he's walking up and down the bus. He goes, "I was at your show last night." And I go, "Well, that's nice." He goes, "You know what was missing?" I go, "What was missing?" He goes, "Comedy." He's walking, and he's walking through my. So I just got it. When he left the bus, we just drove away without soup.
What was missing?
Comedy. That's what he said to me. Rich was there. Rich, you were right there. It was horrible. It was. I think I have in one of these things. I have the menus. They would have the menu for the weekend, and it would be chicken, roast beef, Howie Mandel. You didn't miss out on anything.
That's great.
But we probably have horror stories. I love talking to you, buddy. I can't thank you enough for coming in.
My pleasure.
And and especially, I didn't really have any great questions. That's why I brought
No,
Lou
they
and
were amazing
Jackie.
questions.
No, usually Lou and Jackie aren't here, but I said you are worthy of great questions. Luke and Jackie, can you be here to ask Jeff some great questions? And you're just a real talented, nice person, nice family guy, nice friend who has all these amazing skills that I don't think the public knows about. And weird skills, too. I think when I hadn't seen you for a while, we were at, again, I'm being a little bougie, but because we tour right here at the airport, I landed at the airport.
Right.
And the Batmobile goes by the plane. I'm not fucking the Batmobile.
I forgot.
You have the Batmobile?
Yeah, it was so funny. I'm like, I saw this giant plane coming in, and I'm like, who is this? And they go, oh, it's Howie and everybody from America's Got Talent. And I'm like, hold on, open the gate. So I drove the Batmobile in and drove it right up to the side of the plane, opened it up. Hey, Howie.
Did you build the Batmobile?
No.
This is the Batmobile.
This is one of the ones that they used
From
in
the
the
60s?
Keaton. No, well, I have
Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
He's got a bunch of them.
Yeah, that I have that one, but that's a replica, a really nice replica. This is one that was actually used in the production of the Michael Keaton ones, the cool, badass looking one.
Do you have it here today?
It's in my warehouse over there.
He's just a couple blocks from here. He has the Batmobile. He has his helicopters.
Helicopters?
What?
100 what?
100 what?
Oh,
100 cars.
oh well.
Oh, you have one. You're like a Leno.
Well, a third. He has 300.
You have 100 cars.
Well,
Guys,
What's the
I'm gonna be
rarest-
I'm going to pee in my pants. I have
Well, then you don't announce it. You just do it quietly. What's your rarest, most expensive car?
oh boy, that's tough. I mean the Keaton Batmobile is
That's that one.
There it
yeah.
is.
That's the old
60s.
one. That's the
that
copy.
one. I have that
This
one right. Yeah, that's the one right there.
That's what he pulled up in.
yeah.
This one. Where is it?
That right there.
That's what he pulled up to the plane in.
Right.
Is it
Yes.
street worthy? Can you drive?
Oh yeah,
it?
we got it, and it
No,
wasn't
is that
when
a
we got
license
it.
plate or-
No, the license plate comes down right in front of the flame,
Oh boy.
but it actually throws flame and
Look
there's
at you getting
Adam,
gas in
There's
it.
Adam Carolla right there.
Is he stuck in it? It looks like he's stuck in it.
Yeah.
He looks like he can't get out of it.
Well, is that Adam or the other one was Adam? I think it's
I
Adam,
don't.
too.
That right there.
Yeah.
I don't know. But what do you? All your
Oh,
cars.
there I
are,
am getting gas in it. Yeah, the other one.
so you have 100 cars.
Yeah, something like that.
Do you? Unlike we had Leno here and we were talking to him. He only buys cars, never sells cars. Do you trade and sell?
Not much.
Yes, you do.
Just if there's
No, but he
only
was
some-
saying that he bought a car for $800,000.
Yeah.
The McLaren.
Right.
And it's probably worth $20 million now.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's nuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what the most valuable or rarest one is. I would just because it's so odd. That one right there, the Batmobile. I mean, we got it. We made it street legal. We put an LS7 Corvette engine in it. Got it street legal. Yeah, it's nuts. But
That's got to be worth a lot.
yeah, I think so.
Well, I don't know. Is there a big market for that?
No,
Like,
that's what I'm saying. That's why you got to find the two guys.
You know what I would do if I had a car like that? I would be an Uber driver.
Of course.
Can you imagine?
Jacqueline, there it is right there. That's what I drove.
Oh,
up.
you get 4 stars.
the
Look at that car. That's what he came up in.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. You know what's crazy too? He was dressed like he's dressed today, except that satin cape. Wherever he goes, Jeff's got a cape.
Yeah, that's what people said. Do you have the outfit? I'm like, I'm not in that club. I'll drive the car, but I'm not going to dress up and
Did
drive
you
my
wash your
car.
hands?
I washed my hands.
Did you flush?
Yeah.
All right. Can we want to end the podcast now?
Now we're ending it. I was trying to wait till the end, and it just kept going.
Kept
so
talking.
The reason
Now
we wouldn't normally go longer, but I got to go piss.
Okay.
Jeff Dunham, you're an amazing man, an amazing
Thanks.
friend. Remember to subscribe and review and comment. Tell a friend. Buy the merch. Go see Jeff Dunham wherever he is. And I'm telling you, it is worth. It is a night out for you and the entire family. Lou, thank you. We'll
Thank
see
you.
you in March at the Tropicana.
Yes.
And I'm going to probably be there on April 1st because I want the $64. Anyway.
I must say, Lou, it's nice meeting you, and your
Very nice.
questions are fantastic.
Thank you.
Lou. And
Thank you very
Jacqueline,
much.
same thing with you. Your questions were fantastic.
Thank you.
And Howie, it's a cold day in hell before you.
Okay, hit it. Bye. This is so funny.